Good morning, this is Vin and welcome to Garden on a Hill. Today I will have a 5-minute video of how this rock garden here behind me started last year and finished this year. So let me take you for a quick tour of this rock garden. So this is the second part of the tour after the Durana. Just documenting how this whole area is shaping up. Basically last year it was just a mess of mud again, where there's tree trunks above the ground, and I was having the hardest time to try to figure out how to make this area kind of pop. Oops, I'm sorry, that was the shot. So the biggest challenge to this was I didn't really know what to do, because one side of the tree, half of that circle is higher and the lower half is of course lower because I'm on a hill. And also it's very dry and it has existing trees and shrubs. So there's a lot of roots that need to be taken care of. So this is just, some of the rocks that I got from the farm, and also rocks take a while to collect if you're not buying them. So that's why it took a year. But I thought it would be a great idea to use as a barrier to hold water and the plants and some soil. So the overall aesthetic that we were trying to reach for was a Japanese garden, getting inspiration from the existing pink blossoms of the azalea, and then just some ornamentation that I'm still trying to play with. In general, I use plants that are going to be hardy to be dry in dry shade, like this chocolate chip ahuja, which actually took me 3 years for it to blossom, but it finally did, and it was spectacular, and it lasted for a long while. The silver mound artemisia will get bushier later on in May, and you'll see it as going to be a foliage accent. And going around this at first, I had bamboo there from Lowe's, some rock, and in the winter it didn't quite look as Japanese or as that aesthetic that I was trying to hit, but I was willing to wait for it and see what I can do. As you can see, in the spring, interesting flowers would be this azalea. It's an old azalea, and I don't know what variety it is. And this is just a view of that bare lawn that I'm still going to plant some clover seeds in, I think in a week. But overall, that's how it looks like. And this is a Japanese maple that I added to the undershade of the tree, and I'm hoping it survives the dry shade, as there is perennial lemon balm currently around this tree. Now these lemon balms are there and they've survived dry shade, so I know it's going to work. As you can see, there is plenty of tree trunks or tree roots that I'm basically covering with the rocks, and also dead tree stumps that I'm most likely going to cover with mulch later on. And so here we are almost 2 months later, and everything is greener, better. To the left of this, I actually started to scalp a part of the lawn to seed with clover again as an experiment for May clovers. Zooming in, you see the silver mound is starting to get bushier, looking really good. Further out, you see that I've trimmed the azaleas after they bloomed into more of a bonsai style to kind of fit the theme. There is a lemon balm under that azalea with the frog, and this is the Japanese maple that has now bloomed. So overall, very happy how everything is standing up to the dry shade. Just to show you to the right, on that past May 19 video, this was all bare ground as I planted it with clover around this Japanese maple. It's both bloomed, the maple and the clover. Going back here, you can see that the mole problem is happening. I don't think you notice that one side of the circle is higher than this side. So I was trying to actually use the rocks to also contain the water here for these ornamental sea oats, and then a creeping phlox here. Also, past that creeping phlox, if you noticed, I did have the mulched tree trunk, so it's hidden from the view. Overall, very satisfied. That was my rock garden that it took a while, but thank you for watching my video.